For my author profile project, I chose the author Beverly Cleary. Beverly Cleary is a well-known children's literature author whose stories have inspired several generations. She was born on April 12, 1916 in McMinnville, Oregon. She is married to Clarence Cleary, and together they have 2 children. In her early years, Beverly lived on a farm in Yamhill, Oregon. Yamhill was so small it didn't even have a library. Beverly's mom changed this by creating one in a lodge room over a bank, the books being supplied by the Oregon State Library. This homemade library taught Beverly to love books. Once she was old enough to go to grammar school, Beverly's family moved to Portland. In school, Beverly was considered a struggling reader. This inspired her to teach young, struggling readers the joys that can come from reading. In her adult life, Beverly worked as a librarian in Yakima, Washington, where she read to children and helped them discover how to love reading. She later moved to California when she was married to Clarence, which is where she lives now. Most of Beverly Cleary's books are realistic stories, like Dear Mr. Henshaw, or animal stories like Ripsy. In her stories, Cleary bases her characters on children she grew up with or children she would tell stories to in the library. She always incorporated her mom's advice in her stories. Also, to keep young readers' attention, she worked to keep the stories simple and humorous and incorporated universal human experiences. This made her characters interesting and relatable to a young audience who is learning how to love reading. Throughout the years, Beverly Cleary has won several awards, including the 1984 Newbery Medal for Dear Mr. Henshaw, the 1978 Newbery Honor Book for Ramona and Her Father, the 1982 Newbery Honor Book for Ramona Quimby, age 8, from the American Library Association, the 1975 Laura Ingalls Wilder Award from the Catholic Library Association, the 1980 Regina Medal from the Children's Book Council, the 1985 Every Child Award, and over 35 statewide awards based on votes from her young readers. My personal favorite Beverly Cleary book is The Mouse and the Motorcycle. In the story, Ralph is a young mouse living in the Mountain View Inn. With a large family worried about the dangers of the outside world, Ralph is restrained to live a life of caution while longing for one of adventure. One day, a boy named Keith checks into the Mountain View Inn with his family, and Ralph's life is changed. Keith is a collector of toy vehicles. One vehicle in particular piques Ralph's attention, the motorcycle. Keith and Ralph become friends. Keith teaches Ralph to ride the motorcycle, and the two make an agreement that Ralph can ride the motorcycle every night that Keith is in the hotel. With Ralph's new friend and new mode of transportation, he faces events full of adventure that he never expected. With this adventure, both Ralph and Keith learn lessons on how to grow up. On this slide is a link to Beverly Cleary's website. On this site, one can find a biography about Beverly Cleary, a list of all her books, a description of her characters, fun and games, and different activities and guides for educators and librarians. Here is a link to an interview with Beverly Cleary. In this video, she tells about her inspiration in writing and the characters she creates. For the classroom, Beverly Cleary's books are great for read-aloud activities. Students stay engaged in the story and are inspired to continue reading about all the adventures lived out by Cleary's characters. Most of her books are on the 4th grade reading level, with an interest level ranging around grades 3 through 5. With her humorous stories of universal child experiences I highly suggest keeping Beverly Cleary as a literature resource in your classroom.